Hi, and welcome back to UX Clicks. We're here to help you guys kickstart your careers within user experience design and give you tips and mentorship with how you can get going in this awesome universe that is user experience design. Okay, so up today is our question on why is it important to avoid saying no during a job interview.
Yeah, that's a very good question because very often what happens is you're interview and people ask you a question and the last thing you want to say is actually no. The reason for that is interview for UX job or any other job is really a communication between two parties. So it's an exchange of information, a sort of flow that you want to make everything sort of work together and everybody to be happy on the same page, right? So the minute you say no, it creates some sort of break and negative sort of experience for the person you are talking to because you're disagreeing in sort of way with that person, right?
Yeah, it's actually a physiological kind of reaction within your body when you use the word no. You kind of tighten up, you go into defense mechanism, and that kind of like closes down the conversation.
Yeah.
So what you want to do, and a great way of avoiding this, which actually you did yesterday in a interview, we had a meeting with someone over here today ourselves, and I said to you, actually that was a really great thing because you didn't say no to the query, and we kind of moved around. So great way of avoiding this is to look for similarities in other areas. So it might be that you're starting out, so someone's going to ask you if you have experience with user research or competitive analysis, etc. So you might not actually have first-hand experience within the working life because this is like one of the first jobs you're going to be picking up. So how can you kind of handle that? So it's like look for similarities.
Yeah, so for example, in the past, I would have very often the question, oh, do you have experience with mobile application design? And at the time, I didn't actually have as much experience, but I didn't want to say no because, like I said, that creates a barrier between yourself and the other person. So instead, I was looking at my past projects and looking for similarities to what the question was about. So instead of saying no, I would say, well, I actually spent last year working on this e-commerce solution that it was focusing mostly on mobile first experience, right? So I spent lots of time doing research around designing for small screens, making it touch optimized and sort of minimalistic design. So that way you just say, well, I don't have app experience, but I have very similar experience which is related to the app, which is mobile first sort of web experience, right? And what else you can say is outside work,
you could say outside of work, kind of unrelated, is that I'm massively into app design and I've been downloading hundreds of apps. I'm up on the latest one, and this is my current favorite app, and you could talk about X, Y, and Z. So you actually then take the conversation onto another really important area of user experience design, is in competitive analysis, and you can say why you really like this app, and you kind of then move the conversation forward in a really positive way.
Yeah, and you also show the passion for the subject, right?
Yeah, passion, excitement. It's great. People love that. So it's like, I may not have direct experience of that in my working world, but I'm very excited about it, and therefore you kind of provide some reassurance so that your potential employer that actually you're going to grab this task by the horns and it's going to be no problem for you to get running with that.
Another situation that we have observed in our interviews is when people asking you about the conditions of work. So for example, they can ask you about, pay or relocation or permanent versus contracting, so commuting, or the tools that you're going to be using at your work. So, and very often when you're in interview, it's quite difficult to say no to the sort of specific situation that you potentially might not be really happy with in the end, but you don't want to say no because you don't want to upset the other person. So what I would really often do is, instead of saying no, I'm trying to say that actually I don't have enough information, or or I don't have full understanding of the circumstances, right?
Yeah, so I think yesterday said, oh, it will be really tough to answer that with a full kind of understanding of what the terms and conditions would be in that situation, which is actually great. And then you went on to discuss.
So the yesterday conversation was around relocating to a different country, right? Which we definitely don't want to do, but we don't want to say that to a person that we're talking to. Instead, we say, well, you know, we work a lot remotely, right? So there's a lot of great tools and a lot of companies work remotely. So instead of saying, no, we're not going to relocate, we give them a solution for a problem, right? So that's another great way of saying that. And the benefits of this approach is that you don't actually end up with something you're not happy with, okay? And you make better impression when communicating with people during your interviewing process.
Yeah, and you also come across as a problem solver. The
Exactly.
problem is you don't have any experience in X, but you found a way around that, and you're talking about solutions and ideas and concepts, which is exactly what user experience is all about.
Yeah, so just to sum up, basically, to avoid saying no, you can look for similarities in your previous projects in relation to your experience.
Inside and outside of work.
Exactly. And another thing is asking for more details and not being able to decide without sort of more exploration of the subject.
Yeah, great. Benefits of this is you keep the conversation going, it's positive, you don't have any negative kind of break in the conversation, and you come across as a problem solver.
Exactly. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this makes sense for you and it helps you. Please comment below and subscribe to our channel for more UX related interview shared like directly from our experience with you guys. So see you next time.
Thanks.